Zolder was the site for round 2 of Motive Racing's GT4 Championship on Assetto Corsa Competizione on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 platforms. Motive Racing's GT4 was previously held here. The only G was the winner in Season 1, Round 7. Pole position man was Javier Ranz, also still holder of the fastest lap in the GT4s here at Motive on ACC. Most wins in all categories goes to Will Friedman so far here at Motive, who's taken 2 wins here at this circuit, having taken both wins in the Porsche Cup earlier last season. It was Freeman who took pole position in the qualifying session for round 2 of this season. Did a fantastic lap, a 1/10 of a second was his gap in the end to Cheese Monkey. Championship leader and reigning champion Cheese Monkey, though knew he needed to get a good start here. Marty Rowe and Xander Flander were within 0.2 of a second of the fastest times at the top 4, extremely close in this qualifying session. But the start would be pivotal for Cheese Monkey due to his Ginetta and its lack of straight line speed and power, especially around a track like Zolder with chicanes and long straights. He knew that his only opportunity would be at the start, or that would be his best opportunity in this race for sure. As Freeman backed them up, it looked as though we were all set to go. King Quinn would start from the pit lane for this one, didn't really up in time for the formation lap, but they advanced up towards the line to begin the second round of the GT4 Championship for Season 3. And as soon as they got going, it appeared that Freeman had got a slightly sleepy start. Cheese Monkey really strong off the line. It looked like he almost headed Freeman coming up towards turn 1. They were side by side. Freeman had the inside line, but Cheese Monkey just kept a little bit of that Ginetta on the inside coming up towards turn 2, kept himself in the hunt, and they were side by side coming through turn 3. And as they came through, Freeman just managed to get a little bit of a wheel onto the marbles, went a little, ever so wide just coming through turn 3, and that allowed Cheese Monkey up into the lead of the race. And unfortunately for Freeman, Marty and Xander Flander both flowed him through, as well as Cordeo. So this really did put Freeman on the back foot on the opening lap, having taken pole position in the qualifying session. This now obviously gave the lead to Cheese Monkey at this point. Xander Flander was in second, and Xander Flander was looking to build on this as he made a very speculative move up the inside coming into the second chicane. Ultimately, Cheese Monkey managed to weather that storm. They went side by side down towards the chicane, and then another driver tried to kill Cheese Monkey as they came into the braking zone, as we saw Cordeo there going very late on the brakes and just missing the Ginetta as he cut the inside of the grass coming through the front chicane, and ultimately had to relinquish the position to those two, having taken those positions off of the track. A little bit forward, Marty Rowe Racing had a bit of a moment, dropped down to 8th place in the race after a decent opening couple of laps. So that kind of took Freeman's Team Run DJC teammate out of the picture a little bit. Cordeo had a big spin coming out of the first chicane. You just saw there on the left-hand side of your screen him losing the car as he crawled back onto the track and emerged just in front of Pete Bibb in 5th place, but behind John Jig. Cordeo would have to get the fight back done through the pit stops, where he would have a shorter pit stop due to his lack of tyre change. Freeman, in the meantime, was looking to make moves on Xander Flander and managed to move himself up into 2nd place and continue his recovery drive after a not so great opening lap for the GT4 lead coordinator here at Motive. Next up for him would be Cheese Monkey, and he duly closed up onto the back of him, but a little mistake from Freeman coming out to the first on lap 13 of the race dropped him off of the race leader, and Cheese Monkey was left with quite a sizable gap as Freeman crawled over the grass back onto the circuit behind Xander Flander, who was now in 2nd, but just in front of Cordeo, who was now 4th. Freeman clinging onto his podium spot by the skin of his teeth, but certainly not the situation that he would have hoped for, being on the back of Cheese Monkey just a few moments prior to this. So Xander Flander running in 2nd place, pretty much in no man's land at this point. Cordeo had jumped Freeman in the pit stops and done a really good job there with the leaving the same tyres on and managing to actually get track position and keeping the pace as well at this point in the race. It was very impressive stuff from Cordeo. As these two were starting to reel in Xander Flander a little bit, Cordeo and Freeman were clearly a step above Xander Flander in terms of pace at this point in the race, as they were closing in on him lap after lap. Freeman was looking like he wanted to make the move on Cordeo as well. It was looking like we were either going to have Freeman making the move ahead of Cordeo, or we were going to have a three-way battle between these three guys for second place. Marty was there running in fifth just ahead of Jonjig. Marty at this point didn't seem to be really closing in a whole lot on these three. However, that's all changed on lap 30 as Cordeo made a little mistake coming out of turn 1, and that gave the opportunity for Freeman to go down the inside on Xander Flander. Freeman tried to make two passes in the space of a couple of corners, but it didn't pay off as he got a little bit onto the grass, and then as he rejoined the track, just T-boned the side of Xander Flander a little bit. Xander Flander forced off onto the grass and into the wall. Stewards are currently looking at that one, undecided on the verdict, but I don't think Xander Flander did a whole lot wrong there, to be honest with you. Freeman continued on his way on the back of Cordeo, but Xander Flander very aggrieved after that one. But Freeman did not stop, continued on, trying to make moves on Cordeo as the race winded down towards its climax. Marty Road Racing managed to pull up onto the back of these and looked like he was very much in the fight for the podium spots, but Freeman still could not find a way around Cordeo. Cordeo's defensive driving in this one, absolutely masterful. Parking his car in all the right places, making sure that there was no room on the apex for Freeman to maneuver himself around him. Cordeo obviously was in this position down to his pit strategy, managing to outfox Freeman throughout the pit stops, so he knew that his best opportunity was to just make sure that he wasn't allowing Freeman any space out on the circuit. Freeman just trying everything he could, but Cordeo holding firm. Xander Flander was running in 5th place and had a reasonable gap back to Jonjig. It looked like he would be okay for 5th place, not the situation he would have wanted, having been running in that 2nd spot for so long in the race. But Xander Flander, with a little bit of damage, probably just at this point was trying to consolidate that 5th place ahead of Jonjig. As Cheese Monkey continued to lead out the front by quite some way and continuing to pull out that gap to Cordeo, Freeman and Marty. And Freeman finally got his opportunity to get ahead of Cordeo coming out of turn 1. Cordeo getting a slightly worse run coming out of the corner, and as they came into the 2nd chicane, Freeman took his opportunity, dived down the inside, parked his car on the apex on the exit of the corner, and Freeman finally had his 2nd place. A flashing of the lights from Cordeo, possibly alluding to Freeman's aggression on the way in and the way out of the corner, but Freeman had finally got his P2, and Cordeo would have to defend from Marty in the final couple of laps of the race as Cheese Monkey came out to the final corner to take the win and make it 2 from 2 for the season here at Motive Racing in the GT4s. Cheese Monkey has had the absolute perfect start to his season. He has driven superbly in this one. The reigning champ, the number 1 Ginetta, continuing where he left off last season. Very impressive stuff here, and as he celebrated his win on the exit of turn 1, who could blame him? What a fantastic start to the season from him. Freeman did take 2nd place. Cordeo held on from Marty for 3rd. Those are the highlights for the GT4's round 2 here at Zolder. Hit the like button, subscribe guys, and we will see you in the next one. Thank you ever so much.